Yeah, you can take it out. Yeah, sure.
Well, good morning, everyone. Thank you. I'm Northland Labs. We built a product called Kredi. It's an autonomous microcredit agent on Build Our Heart. There's a $5 trillion credit gap, and it's in the emerging markets. We don't often think about the problem that we see and experience in our society because we have such well-established parameters of credit. We have access very quickly. We can access funds. We can go in and sign up for 5 different credit cards, 5 different payment processing or services, and we can have access to credit very quickly. In the emerging markets, that is a huge problem. So $5 trillion. $5 trillion gap in those markets. So people are earning money. They're able to pay their bills, but for a traditional banking system, they're invisible. So how do we address this? The solution, we built Kredi as an autonomous underwriting agent. So it ingests informal income evidence, whether that be through your handwritten ledgers or whether it's through your Western Union transfers, anything that can determine and show that you have received income. So we're able to do that. We're also able to conduct an interview very quickly to understand your assessment of your income. And from that, we're able to issue a credit line directly to you. So that as a credit line is up to a maximum of 10 USDC. And I know that seems like a very small amount. You can't even buy lunch with that in the Bay Area. But to an emerging market in Africa, in the Caribbean, in Latin America, $10 goes a long way. That's your groceries for a week. That could be groceries for feeding your family. It's important services that people do not have access to. So how does it work essentially? We are an autonomous underwriting agent. We interview, we do money transfers, we have their scanned ledgers, we take that in, we process it with Gemini, we extract the data, we estimate our risk, and we issue a loan based on that. So if you're really and truly bringing in like $5 a week, then it's able to understand and make that assessment. After that, the output being that everything on USDC is dispersed via Circle and then settled upon Arc. So no human approval, everything is done on-chain by the agent. So the architecture, as I said, first $10 maximum hard limit. If someone games you lose $10 and you walk away. If they repay, they grow strategically and algorithmically as well, and honestly becomes your economically rational. So that's how we kind of mitigate some of our risk as well. In terms of architecture, as I said, Gemini 3 Flash we use for receipt parsing, data extraction. For Gemini 3 Pro, we use that for credit decision function calling, so with the governance policies around credit issuance. And then from Circle and L1, we're using that for programmable wallets, and then we're using for less than 2 seconds finality. So again, paying quickly.
Time for questions. Any questions from the audience? Yeah? Okay. So first here at
What market do you think you want to target first?
So I was actually born in Barbados, so it's a little bit close to home for me. And traditionally, there's a group of islands called the CARICOM nations, and they operate together as like one entity. Banking regulations seem to be the same, and that's a very good test bed for the product and service that we're trying to build here today. And again, as I said, it is $10 is still a meaningful impact from a consumer perspective.
Could this be used for small business owners in those markets?
Absolutely. One of the biggest things, so my family has done a lot of import-export for the Caribbean islands, and they've been in a lot of retail services for different Caribbean islands. And one of the biggest problems that exists is the inability to properly verify when your shipment goods have arrived in port and clearance. There's a breakage, there's spillage, there's a lot of extra costs that are associated with it. So Kredi being as an autonomous agent, can handle everything on the chain using smart contracts, and it can be used in any specific example. We're using consumer financing because that's something that we can all relate to here in North America, and the desire to have that access is something that can also be related to for someone in the Caribbean markets.
Thank you.
Yeah, so what, you're underwriting, right?
Essentially, yeah.
And so what alternative data are you using? Is blockchain in any way helping that model?
So we are, this is where we would love to get more into that smart contracts. where we're able to establish interest payments, repurchase returns, calculate the amount of loan for the individual person. I was having a great conversation yesterday about some of the data implications of having smart contracts for each individual user, and there's some really good considerations that came out of that. But for us primarily, it's using the smart contracts to kind of issue payments, trusting the merchant. The merchant really acts as a kind of physical gateway. So to the consumer, they're non-existent. They don't know it's a blockchain, but everything is kind of done in person.
Okay, one more.
Are you planning on doing underwriting plus capital, or are you planning on just doing the underwriting aspect?
So at present, it's just the underwriting that we're focused on. So we're essentially guaranteeing. So the credit assurance is we're trusting. We'll build the process. We have the understanding of how the users are going to spend their money, what their capabilities are, and we are just essentially giving the merchant a sort of a guarantee. And if I was able to show the merchant dashboard, you'd be able to see the merchant is actually one controlling the loan repayments, and it can be done at any merchant. So within your entire island, you have access to this sort of information.
Mr. Wanaz?
Okay. So sometimes we expect that AI could be more biased than humans, or sometimes humans are more biased. So if there comes a situation, AI rejects the application. So will there be an opportunity for them to kind of be fair to humans?
You're absolutely spot on, and that's something that again, being in North America, we're exposed to a lot of this. Like credit is our first thing that we're taught. There's a joke, and it's a very interesting. You may be able to survive, not having a roof over your head, but you will not survive if you don't have good credit. So that's something that we kind of traditionally kind of been on in North America. And so the idea of Kredi is being your own financial personal coach as well. So giving you access to that fund, giving you access to those money, and saying that we are starting to build a relationship with you. And again, one of the areas that we use within our platform to kind of ensure that stability is through your phone numbers. In a lot of these emerging markets, your phone number is your life. So if you ruin your credit with this, with our service, it's not very easy for you